Sup, you chuckle fucks? It's your boy Dark Raku here with What If Issei was a vessel to the elite Sternritters part 7. But yeah, other than that, let me begin with What If. Let me shut the fuck up and let me begin. So other than that, let me begin with What If. So we begin into mostly Issei right now, kind of in school, dealing with mostly some paperwork of just random bullcrap of has to deal with mostly the event of Rias and her stupid barrage, and Son and her stupid barrage, and their ideas to attack him. Of course, that was kind of the first incident that ever happened with devils, and yeah, and he should be more prepared next time for the devils effect that they attacked him. He's right now making plans to kind of create the advanced town, mostly the advanced society, that he's right now planning in the future when he gets older. Should probably be pushed up a little bit, mostly, or push, not back, but push forward. Mostly, he wants it to be kind of, created somewhere that mostly not many people could actually bother him. This is where he was trying to think around the world and also around Japan and Kuo. And of course he knows about the different territories, about the different pantheons, and he doesn't want to deal with the different gods. He also doesn't want to deal with the Greek gods, specifically the Greek gods, because there's one Greek goddess that's annoying as hell. And he already dealt with her once, he's not dealing with her again. There's also a dragon that he doesn't want to deal, mostly again, because she was annoying. Even though mostly Issei doesn't have D-Drake with him, he just doesn't want to deal with that. Of course, he's trying to think and where to actually create his base. His advanced humanity kind of base. Mostly for the Quincy's to live on. This is where, mostly he does know that this territory that he has, is quite small. It's not that big. It's not like Tokyo or any of the other kind of places. But this is where, he's trying to think. Where to put it. Where to put it. This is where, he was just thinking until this is where, mostly he was right now kind of just like putting his like arm, like putting his like fist up to his face and kind of just putting his like, mostly elbow towards his desk and right now thinking of something. He's right now trying to think, where should I put it at? He's right now looking at, this like world, mostly the sphere, the globe of Earth. And this is where, he's looking around. He's not going to try on Antarctica, because first of all, that's a fucking ice plain field. There's really nothing to kind of like, even if he puts resources up there, it's not going to work because it usually will have to be contained by magic and mostly Rialtsu, and it's not the great place to put it at. This is where, he's just thinking, because mostly if he just puts the mostly items and other things like that up there, mostly the devils or something random will try to destroy it. So right now he's thinking, he's right now spinning the globe with mostly his right hand. Not his right hand, his left hand. This is where he's trying to think, this is where, because he's right now having this piece of papers and where to actually plan it. And this is where, he's right now just spinning it. Spin again and again. He's spinning again and again and again, trying to pick where would be the greatest place. He doesn't have that much paperwork of other things. Right now, he's kind of bored, and this is where he's just thinking in his head and where to actually put it at. Because he doesn't want to deal with the devils. Entirely, he's fine with Latia and her kind of friend, and even Ajuka. But dealing with them and having someone an alliance with Ajuka, he doesn't have an alliance with Ajuka. He's just friends with Ajuka. And Ajuka really has this really weird kind of, mostly not like brother-in-law or any of that entirely. Mostly Latia's actually Ajuka's niece. But mostly he has this weird kind of thing that he wants to actually put mostly Latia and him together. Which he doesn't really hate Latia, it's just Latia sometimes get on his nerves sometimes. Not much to the point that he wants to kill her. No, it's just playful. But he doesn't have an alliance with the other devils, like the other devil kings. He doesn't have it for mostly Sir Sex, neither Seraphal, and there's no way in hell he's going to talk to them anytime fucking soon. Because he has heard from Ajuka that Serdek is a very huge syscon. He also heard it from other people And of course, it's going to just be super difficult to talk with him because his stupid sister right now ruined his plans in the near future. Because, well, his fucking sister right now, I don't know, attacked him. And of course, mostly Issei didn't even want to talk to him because when he kind of heard about the memory seal that mostly Koneko had, thanks to someone kind of unsealing it, mostly that being Issei. Issei kind of got the memories and other shit. He managed to figure out what exactly fucking Sursik's done with Koneko, kind of stealing her memories. And somewhat kind of putting her in Ria's barrage, and Ria's was kind of green like a madman, but yeah. But not the point. This is where, well, he just doesn't want to deal with the Gremory at all. Of course, he definitely doesn't want to deal with Seraphol. Even though Seraphol can get serious sometimes. When Ajuka say that she can get serious sometimes. Literally, it's sometimes. And this is where Issei says he wants to know and how that will work, because this is where, well, when Ajuka kind of just recorded a video about one of their meetings, it was just blah 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 meeting. It was kind of like mostly about something about the underworld and other things. Like one time it was about like last month or something, he kind of sent a video towards mostly Issei, like show him. Of course, where, well, what Issei realizes, Seraphol doesn't get too serious. Literally, she is serious when she feels like it, or when the situation is so serious and tense. Other than that, if she sees you to be younger than her, or kind of like a young man, or blah blah blah, she would just become very goofy at the same time, not take you too serious. Which Issei, he gets annoyed. He see why Sona, being Seraphol's younger sister, Sona, can always get a little check marks and angry at her. This is where, Issei just watch us to say, really, this fucking sucks. This is where, well, he can talk to Ajuka fine, but they kind of do nerd out a little bit about technology and other stuff. So, of course, not happening. But this is where, well, I mean, they can talk really serious and other things about stuff, but Issei still doesn't want to, like, reveal his entire plans and his cards towards Ajuka, because he entirely still doesn't trust his Devil Society at all. Then there's the last one, that being Fafnir. And, Issei realized he would not be able to talk to Fafnir. Or, is it Fafnir? Or what was it? I can't remember. I think it's Fafnir. I think that's his name. But really, Issei won't be able to talk to him in a serious point because, well, Fafnir falls asleep 24/7. Issei says, yep, not gonna be able to talk to him at all. But yeah, that's the thing. Now, this is where, well, Issei is just sword chopping. He's thinking of something else. He's right now just pointing his freaking finger upon the globe, trying to pick what place to go to. What's the best suitable place for the Quincy's to be able to live on? This is where, well, he looked at Russia, but Russia is too cold, and some people won't be able to handle the cold. He's trying to pick a suitable place, because even though Russia is quite cold, there is like supernatural beings there, and he doesn't want to deal with them 24/7. So, of course, he doesn't want to lose his people or any of that. And doesn't want to lose trust. He wants to build still a good leadership upon his, like, mostly Quincy's and other things. But, yeah. Mostly, I should also mention that there's actually a device underneath mostly the town that slowly transforms humans, just normal daily humans, into Quincy's. They slowly start becoming into Quincy's. That's a device that mostly Issei created with some of his scientists. His scientists, well, mostly one of his scientists that is named, well, mostly, so this is how his scientist looks like. At the same time, his name is Lloyd Asplin, but yeah. Lloyd has the letter W for wisdom, because he's quite literally one of the smartest and wisest out of mostly a lot of people. This is where, well, he sometimes does kind of, mostly become too optimistic. The fact that he kind of overthinks some things, but not much. Now, of course, well, Lloyd is actually one of the other creators and actually the device to actually kind of make Issei imagine it with his power to be able to kind of create kind of devices to kind of give it to people like Quincy's. Now, Lloyd is actually another member who's actually able to have his powers permanently, because it's been 1 year. Or it hasn't really been 1 year. It has actually been 2 years. And Lloyd is actually one of the most loyal companions that Issei has, and one of the most secretive, because he truly doesn't actually go to school. Well, he does go to school sometimes, but that's just because sometimes he just asks Issei for some materials for mostly his research kind of sciences team. But yeah. Because Lloyd isn't just a scientist to create mostly the advance of society. He also create other machineries like mostly for Quincy's to be able to be involving their weaponry, mostly to kind of using these swords that would nullify magic, bows, and other things. He also creates machinery like robots and other things. He also creates kind of like these robotic suits that will help Quincy to use their own reality to power them and be able to use it against mostly supernatural beings that are larger than normal supernatural beings. And yeah, now Lloyd, he is quite loyal, so of course mostly Issei is just thinking maybe he should call Lloyd up just because he has really not a theory or a head right now, having a clear head and where he should right now put it. Where should he put his base, his true base or his true kingdom at? He wants to create a society for where Quincy's, his people that live in the town, and of course they can leave any time, and when they leave they're still having some of the blood of the Quincy in them, so of course it doesn't really matter. But this where Issei right now kind of just trying to figure out where exactly to put it at. He's having a tired look, and this is where Issei says, oh, for fuck's sakes, where the hell do I put it at? Now this is where Lloyd, not Lloyd, mostly we go back into Issei. Issei's just thinking, he's like, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? He's looking at all the whole planets, mostly all the different, like, mostly states, countries, cities, and everything. He's right now on his computer just typing away, and this is where, he's trying to think in which place of the region that he wants to kind of put his kingdom at. He's still thinking pretty hard. This is where, mostly Issei has been kind of bored since the morning, but we go into a time skip of the whole day because, mostly he was just like interrupted by like little different news and paper information from other people, from different let me say that again. I said that twice. Different Sternritters who actually appear to kind of ask him a question, then ask him for something. This is where Issei has kind of did a written using his signature and other things. This is where, he's seen some of the newer Sternritters, some of the older Sternritters, and yeah, you get the point. He also seen some of his elites, not many of them, but of course, he did meet, he does see Chicken, who is actually his, mostly, elite for C, mostly, if you know what it is chromostate, which is basically time, but yeah. He's also saw the elite for mostly, V, that being literally void. And that is, what's it called? Someone named Yami Sikiryu, who is actually kind of also one of his elites. And of course, it's just been the whole day kind of somewhat of a mess, not entirely. It just, Issei hasn't really been truly focused with mostly some of other people's tasks and other things. He's been more on task about where should he kind of like put like the main base and like the main kingdom and other things at. He also does saw Lloyd, and Lloyd is considered to be one of his elites, kind of, but that's just because he's a genius entirely. Lloyd is actually right now inside of the kind of office/room that Issei's at. Lloyd is mostly, he did put a sign at the door that right now not many people should bother them. Mostly it's a private meeting, and there is a powerful seal that should stop anyone from going anywhere, from even opening the door, touching it. Literally, someone actually did try to open the door, and it was that one angry human who mostly Issei just calls Sasuke because how annoying he is. Literally, just that electrified. He says, you son of a bitch! He screams in the outside. Issei chuckles and says, that actually made my day a little bit happier. Lloyd chuckles also and says, yeah, that did also make my day, but not the point. Sir, trying to figure out where we should build the kingdom at. The true kingdom for the Quincy race, isn't that right? This is where Issei nodded. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still trying to put where I should put it. I've been looking at locations, looking at places, trying to not be next to gods and trying not to be next to mostly, gods and other shit. Supernatural beings, but there's no other freaking place I can put it at. Lloyd is just thinking, saying, where do you think you want to... This is where, they noticed the door open quite finally, and the guy would kind of grin a chair with a cigar in his mouth, having this darkish green eyes. Or mostly they're not darkish green, they're mostly, So this is where, well, someone basically appears. He has blackish eyes, has glasses on somewhat, and this is where, well, he does have a cigar, greenish, darkish, kind of like earth green hair somewhat. This is where, well, mostly he just walks in with wearing kind of a black suit somewhat, and this is where, well, he kind of just like looks at mostly the two people in front of him. This is where, well, he kind of just says, yo. This is where, well, we'll see Issei sweats up and says, hello there. Kenji Habata, what can I do for you? This is where Kenji says, oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Also, I saw that one guy's, like, hand right now barbecued. What was his name? You call him Sasuke or something. Yeah, that's because he was an emo prick and annoying the hell out of me. Makes sense. Not the point. I only came here just to mess with you, you know. That's a true jester, wouldn't it be? Fuck off, you damn joker, for a second. This is where, well, mostly Ken Shibata is actually mostly has the letter kind of J, and the one ability that people should avoid at once, because he has the power called Joker, and he is actually considered to be an elite, but at the same time a wild card. Literally a wild card, because he doesn't need to truly listen to Issei commands or any of that, and Issei knows about this, because his powers are literally somewhat busted. Because they can literally make him one of the most powerful people in the entire, what's it called, Sternritters. But I'll mention that later and what they are. This is where, well, we'll see. How about I kind of just say, so, what are we doing here? This is where, well, he then looks at Lloyd. And of course, I should mention one thing. Kenji Habata, he's actually another kind of user of having it for mostly 2 years. He's actually someone that actually knows about Lloyd and his existence. He's been with Issei for a while, so of course he's considered to be an elite, also considered to be a wild card, and he has the power for literally 2 years. So of course he's actually someone that has it permanently already. This where, well, he smiles and says, hey there, Lloyd. It's been a while. Have you been in your kind of, how should I say, what was it called? Underground, doing more sciencey stuff? This is where Lloyd scoffs and says, Can you not be annoying half the time? This is where, well, Lloyd is already kind of getting a headache from just existence right now. Ken says, aw, don't be so mean to me there. What's it called, Lloyd? We're friends, aren't we? Hell no, Lloyd wanted to say. Oh, I do know that your next words were going to be set in hell no, but come on, don't be mean to me. At least be similar, like, what's it called, our leader right now. Isn't that right, Issei? Issei says, for the love of God, what do you want anyway? Oh, nothing. So what are we doing? This is where you appear right next to Issei. Right now with the Quincy kind of body flicker, but not the point. Or not the body flicker, the flash up, but it's a Quincy version. This is where, well, he's looking at the paper and looking at the globe and thinking, you know what would be a great idea? It's just to put our kingdom in a different planet. He thought of making a joke entirely, until mostly Lloyd says, oh my fucking god, that would take more resources, but at least mostly the supernatural won't bother. This is where, well, before both Lloyd and Ken can argue with Ken can just be literally a troll and just start kind of talking about the different planets, and of course maybe putting the kingdom on it and blah blah blah, whatever Issei's dream wants to be on it. And this is where Lloyd wants to argue that would be so stupid, until this is where Issei right now kind of stands up, slams both of his hands on the, well, desk in an insane, and this is where he says, I got it! This is where, well, he has such a huge grin, and this is where, well, he kind of just shakes mostly Ken's hand, right now shaking it over and over, and says, thank you for the idea. Lloyd, we gotta do something. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of pushed the globe off his desk, and right now kind of grabs Lloyd from mostly his hand, mostly his like wrist, and says, we gotta get back to the underground. I got a plan, and I have actually an idea in where to actually put the kingdom at. He grabbed some of the papers, and this is where, well, he did grab the globe. He did kind of like push it somewhere else. He doesn't need it for now because he had an idea. He literally just got an idea from literally Ken, the Joker, the fucking wild card. And this is where, well, Ken says, what did I exactly do? Wait, did I just get thanked from the... This is where, well, he realized Issei and even Lloyd are gone. And Sweat drops and says, I guess I put the seal back. Until that guy came back, mostly his name was, So the guy named Adonis came back and his hand was finally healed, and this is where he says, "Oh, the door's open." He opens it to just see, well, none other than Ken, and Ken says, "Huh? Hey, isn't your name Sasuke?" "My name isn't Sasuke, bastard. Now where the hell is that fucking how should I say, Issei? Is it Issei? I don't fucking give a damn that much. Where's Issei and where the hell is he, huh? I demand you this word." Well, right now, before Adonis can even keep on saying and demanding, we'll see Ken's eyes right now glow with a very greenish and purplish color. This word, well, we'll see. Adonis was about to fucked up because no one demands or even like asks or demands or just does anything to what's it called Ken. Cause not many people know about this, but Ken hates any demands or just any requests or anything to do with just being like asked or told or any of that. He doesn't like that. He's more of a wild card. That's why Issei calls him a wild card, because he doesn't do what mostly is suggested of him to do. And that's why Issei just kind of like not really bothers to actually demand him or any of that, because he is considered strong and one of the most powerful, but not the point. This is where, well, Ken says, "The hell did you just say to me?" This is where, well, his cigar was right now snapping mostly Ken's hands, and this is where Adonis right now felt like he should probably run right now far, far away from Ken. Ken says, "I'm not lightly like Issei. Actually, I'm nothing like Issei. The only reason why Issei kind of keeps you around is not to upset the mostly the princess of the witches, or even that fucking witch that you're hanging around most of the time, and doesn't want to show any kind of like mostly well, he is kind of merciful sometimes, but you should know about his true self. But I will not be the one to tell you about his true personality and true self. You will find out one day when you actually piss him off enough. But that's not for here or there right now. I don't like demands, I don't like requests, and I don't like what I'm being told about. I'm going to show you what truly who I am. Adonis." This is where, well, he doesn't actually care about mostly. I think Adonis had it last night. Wait, mostly Adonis. Wait. This is where his full name is Adonis Morgan, but that's just because Morgan is mostly the other witch's name. The other witch's name, Chloe Morgan. But yeah, this is where, well, Ken says, "It's time for you to have a bad time with me, brat." This is where, well, now you see here, Ken is actually mostly quite older than mostly Adonis. He is actually mostly a third year, and that's why he doesn't like being called or even told about or any of that. He is one of the most, well, he is kind of loyal to Issei, but at the same time, he doesn't listen to anyone else's commands, especially not Issei that much, which Issei doesn't just go chase after him. He just doesn't care too much. He lets him do whatever, but not the point. This is where, well, before Adonis can even escape or run away or just plead for, "Please don't hurt me," Ken-san, this is where, well, we go into mostly Issei and also, well, Lloyd's POV. Right now, Issei right now talks about kind of putting the kingdom on a different planet. This is where, well, he was thinking of putting it on like a moon or some kind of planet that allows to have enough resources. Not Mars, but a different entirely far away planet from mostly Earth. This is where he kind of asked Lloyd to actually kind of discover some of the newer planets from mostly, not from this galaxy in particular, but seeing if there's a different planet and a different place. It doesn't matter how long it takes, because if they can travel to it and get into that planet and it has the same amount of resources or it's bigger than Earth or whatever, they can still adapt to it. Since the Quincy can actually are advanced humans, they adapt much easier to anything. So of course he tells mostly Lloyd about that, mostly aspect of a Quincy, and Lloyd knows about that quite well. Lloyd just looks at Issei, thinks about it, and this is where, well, he then sees the papers that Issei is holding, and this is where, well, it pretty much just says where exactly they're going to be at and where their main base should be at. This is where, well, Lloyd says, "So that's what you wanted to do. Okay. Do you want that place to also have kind of beings like close to the supernatural beings or not?" "No. Entirely, I'm not thinking of being on this planet for too long. Since entirely, I know that this fucking planet might go into war again, just like the supernatural did a long time ago, and I don't want the Quincy's to be dragged on with the freaking, well, supernatural." Lloyd looks at Issei and nodded. This is where Lloyd says, I see. So that's where you actually kind of had an idea. Thanks to the fact Ken's little joking idea, you had the brilliant idea to actually put on a different planet. It's insane. I will give you that much credit. It's insane, yes. Issei says, I know it's insane. But it could really work. Exactly. I can't believe I'm saying this, but fine. Do you want us to put all our resources into it? No. In some occasions, I just want you to explore some of the planets. How would I do that? Because we can't make a giant rocket kind of appeared in in this place before the supernatural can even understand what exactly we're doing. So, this is where Issei nods and says, that is true. Wait a minute. This is where Issei smacked the shit of himself, and this is where, Lloyd says, are you okay? This is where Issei says, no, we can ask one of our members. Clearly they have space manipulation. Huh? Space manipulation? Who would that be? Yami? Yami has void. That wouldn't work. No, N. Don't you remember the letter N? You know who I'm talking about, right? Lloyd, oh fuck. How the fuck did we almost fucking miss that? And we were about to waste so much resources, and we could have just asked her. She still hasn't explored her abilities entirely, so this would be a good opportunity to train her abilities. I guess that is right. This is where, mostly they do kind of call upon mostly N towards the office, but when mostly Issei and mostly Lloyd gets back. Now, N actually stands for Nebula. Yeah, Nebula. At the same time, her name is actually Neon. Let me say that again. So her name is mostly Neo Uzi Mirio. But yeah, now of course the power of Nebula, but not the point. This is where now we're going back to mostly Issei's office just to see a very, and I mean very, scared the living shit out of literally a doll right now, kind of in the corner of Issei's office. And Issei then sees Ken right now sitting in his chair. Right now smoking a cigar, having glasses, like dark shade glasses, like if he's asleep, which probably he is asleep. And that's where Issei kind of sees a doll right now scared. Right now kind of staring at mostly Ken with mostly scary, kind of like scared shitless out of his mind of Ken. He looks like he has wounds all over, but they look to be traumatized wounds. This where, it looks like he might have got healed, then cut, then killed, and cut, and this is where Issei knows what exactly happened. God damn it. Lloyd, can you get him out of my fucking room? Which one, Ken or the other guy? I'll deal with Ken. You deal with the fucking other guy. I don't want to touch Sasuke. Got it. This is where, mostly Lloyd says, hey. Then he starts snapping mostly the person. This is where, he noticed that mostly the person's mental physiology and other things is just all fucking scarred. He knows exactly what Ken probably did. He has an idea, but he's not truly always with Ken, so of course, usually Issei knows what happens more. This is where, Lloyd right now grabs a doll from the kind of collar and starts dragging him out. Even though a doll doesn't want to go anywhere, Lloyd is actually a little bit much more stronger. He looks scrawny and weak, and he looks like he doesn't work out, and he doesn't look like he has that much strength. No, Lloyd literally drags the hell out of fucking a doll and get him out of the room and just fucking toss him like a fucking bowling ball down the literally hallway, smashing him into the princess and also, mostly the witch, being Chloe and also the princess. This is where, there was also another princess that were confused, and this is where Lloyd says, go! He says, strike! This is where almost they were confused until they see this guy. One of the princesses, mostly, she's a princess of what's it called? Kind of the elf, mostly the elf race. She kind of blushes after seeing Lloyd. Lloyd says, sorry about that, princess of mostly the, witches and elves, and also Chloe there. My name is Lloyd. I am actually someone who is actually a part of the Sternritters. You don't need to know my title and status and other things like my name. Well, you already see my name. I am actually Lloyd, but yeah. But I'm here just to drop him off. He might have actually messed with someone terrifying in this school, which mostly Issei has asked not many people to go mess with him. The idiot right now decides to do that to himself. So if you want to blame anything, blame it on that guy. I could help him and reverse his mental traumatized, but I think it's a good lesson to actually for him to understand and what the hell actually happened to him. But yeah. But of course we go into Ken and mostly Issei's POV, and of course where Issei kind of just like grabbed a chair. Of course Ken is still asleep, and he knows Ken's a heavy sleeper. He kind of goes to the front of his door. This is where he kind of still checks if Ken's asleep. Which, yes, when he lifts up the mostly glasses, he's still asleep. He then kind of just imagine the floor in front of him to be literally the slippiest kind of like floor ever. Also, to be literally just kind of like put literally oil on it. It's made out of ice and oil. And this is where, Issei grins with such a psychotic grin, because imagine the wheels that has on the wheels that Ken is right now sleeping on, mostly the chair, to be literally also greased and literally like with like WD-40. But yeah, but of course it's where mostly Issei grins and says goodbye, Ken. He whispers and says sleep tight, Ken. This is where Ken was kind of a little bit stirring up and say, what are you, yeah, I like going to sleep. This is where Issei says, then fly, motherfucker! This is where Issei says, this is Sparta! Fucking kicks the chair so hard that this is where the chair just slides through the fucking hallway. At fucking Mach 2 speed. Or much faster than that. Literally, it goes so much faster than that. This is where Ken kind of just opened his eyes and widened. And this is where, the shades right now fall off his eyes. And this is where he's sliding so fucking fast. This is where, a bunch of students did touch the ground and they slipped back into the classroom, which they were confused. And this is where, since mostly, Lord did kind of push, Dolus into a different kind of hallway. Not the same one that mostly the princes of the other one were at, but yeah. But they hear literally a loud shriek coming from the other hallway, going all the way down. Ah, you son of a bitch! This is where, mostly Ken screams out Issei's name, you son of a bitch! But this is where he starts going, mew! This is where everyone's confused until this is where, they see Ken smash into the railing. There's a railing at the very end. But of course, he smashed into it. The railing could barely even stop mostly Ken from flying out and smashing into the window and getting out of the whole school building. Ding ding! This verse is a strike! Hell yeah, that actually worked. This is where, Ken in the other side, in the very outside, say, fuck you, you damn hoe! But yeah. This is where, Issei chuckles and says, that's what you get, you asshole. Never appear in my chair. This is where Issei gets another chair just with his imaginary power. And this is where he sits down and says, that feels better. And this is where, mostly Issei has a smile on his face. Just because he has an idea of where to put his kingdom at the same time, that was fucking hilarious. He's actually having a pretty good day. He's also having a pretty good day with the guy being also scarred. What's it called? Adultus or whatever? He doesn't give a damn. He's happy. He feels so fucking great. This is where, we go into someone kind of appearing in mostly Issei's kind of door. Sliding in because, first of all, Issei didn't actually imagine the fucking, hallway not to be fucking slippery as shit. So, of course, she slides in and right now falls upon Issei and says, Issei! This is where, she kind of smashes upon Issei, and Issei, with being on the chair still and not on his desk, kind of falls over, and of course he's right now kissing, mostly the girl that he kind of has a crush on. Not entirely has a crush on, but mostly not the girl, mostly someone that is actually, somewhat of a lover to him. Not entirely, but yeah, mostly, yeah, not entirely his lover, but someone who actually has kind of like longish blue hair, bluish eyes, with crystallized blue eyes, and kind of snowy white skin. This is where, she blushes and then says, sorry about that. This is where she gets up, of course, a little flustered. And this is where Issei says, Estef, are you okay? Also, sorry about that floor. This is where, mostly Estef says, no, I'm fine. I wasn't expecting it to be that slippery. I thought it was just made out of ice. Issei swatches up and says, shit, let me actually reverse it. This is where Issei right now undoes the floor by using his imagination power. And this is where, not many people can now slip and slide and smash into the fucking wall or something. Issei apologized to everyone in the intercom and says, sorry about that. If you heard a screaming or you got hit by someone screaming down the hallway, I am so sorry. I'll pay for mostly your life insurance for the fact that you kind of got hurt. Not many people got hurt. They were just interesting. Some people actually kind of used the sliding kind of technique to just slide around the kind of hallways because people kind of do play skateboards and other things. So of course they were using this to our advantage just to get to the next class. But yeah. And it would literally be more fun. Some people could not control their kind of balance on the ice that was kind of coated with literally fucking like not gloss but mostly like oil. So yeah, people are just sliding around saying wee. This is where when the ice and the oil disappears, they kind of just fall down because well the floor is no longer slippery. This is where they say oh fuck. They hear that intercom and say ah damn it, why couldn't he keep it a little bit longer? Some other people are talking, but yeah. But of course people manage to get up and yeah. This is where well people are now going down to their next classroom, but yeah. This is where well we go into Issei kind of switch out and say sorry about that SF blushes to say no, it's fine. Now, why did I hear a screaming, shrieking guy just going down the hallway, kinda looking like Ken? Issei switch out and says, oh, that was because it literally was Ken. Kinda going meow like a Joker should be, a jester. This is where we almost see SF giggles and says, God damn it, can you not be so mean to Ken like that? I thought you enjoyed people kind of misery. Oh, shut up. I do. But since I'm not really a part of your Sternritters, I entirely don't. That's where Issei says, yeah, I know. For being a half-devil, it kind of pisses me off that you're not entirely a Quincy. But it doesn't really matter. Because where SF says, yeah. So, what exactly is your plans now? Because you seem to be quite happy. Not from just Ken's misery, but seems to be also happy from something else. Oh, you remember that guy named Adolis? Yeah, fucking Ken tortured the shit of him when I got back to my office, which I'm actually so glad about. Okay, but you have something else in mind. Oh yes, I have the kingdom. I have the plan and where I want to put the kingdom at. This is where, well, mostly Esther says, and where would that be? This is where someone says, excuse me, did you call for me, my lord? This is where he says, yes, Nia. Can you come over here? Where the hell is also Lloyd at? Lloyd is right now kind of dealing with mostly the princess wanting Adolis to be healed, and this is where Lloyd says, I have things to do, my princess, but I really need to be going. This is where the princess says, no, please heal him. And this is where Chloe's doing her best and not happening. The princess of Elf is trying also, but she's not getting any good luck. Lloyd says, I'm not a healer, you do realize that. I'm a scientist. I'm a scientist of the Sternritters. Other than that, I have no clue how to heal him that much. Ken is the one to actually, or mostly not Ken. He doesn't say Ken's name. He says Jay is the only one to actually understand about this. The letter J. This is where, well, the princess winded her eyes and says, you can't be telling me that basically he went against Joker. Yes, he has went against Joker. And, I cannot help him right now. I swear, well, she looks horrified and looks down at Mosi, well, Dolis. This is where, well, Lloyd noticed that he gets a call from Mosi, his, Mosi lord being Issei. And this is where he said, I need to be going now. I need to be going to Issei's office. This is where mostly Lloyd disappears, but yeah, and this is where, well, he runs off towards mostly the, place. And this is where Lloyd appears with a body flicker and says, yo, I'm here. This is where he noticed Neon and says, oh, hello there, Neon. Neon says, hello there, Lloyd-san. This is where, well, SF kind of says, hey there. Lloyd then says, hello there, what's it called, SF-san. This is where, well, SF says, hello there, Lloyd. Issei says, okay, he claps both of his hands and says, okay, Nia, I need your help with something. You will be actually working with Lloyd for, from now on and using your powers and learning how to use your powers. This is where, well, Neon says, really? What would I be learning about? Space travel or what? Entirely, you're not wrong in the training you're going to be doing. This is where Neon right now has a grin on her face and says, really? What am I going to be learning? Going on to different planets or something? Both Issei and even what's it called, Lloyd looks at each other and says, yeah, you're not entirely wrong. That's basically what we want you to do. This is where Neon says, really? I thought it would be more like training how to control my abilities. Entirely, that's how you control your abilities. Go into different planets just to check the atmosphere and trying to kind of, well, not check the atmosphere. I mean, there's another way to control it, but not the point. Since your abilities are more kind of active to be more in space, they should be much more easier to control the clouds of a what's it called nimbus from different planets if you're next to some of the gases. We want you to kind of explode them with enough kind of gas and control to make a star. And if you can do that, then we will kind of be able to get you up to being an actual elite. This work, well, we'll see. Wania kind of nods and says, "Got it. I understand. Well then, when are we going to do this? What's it called, Lloyd-san?" This where Lloyd says, "You're a little close, but we're going to start mostly tomorrow. Right now I'm a little tired from the fact that I just fucking had to deal with the princess of elves and also the prince of witches and Chloe and the fucking troublesome kid named Sasuke. Is that his name?" Issei says, "I don't care, and I can care less. I'll ask Ken, but Ken is not going to give a damn about that guy. And I don't think he's truly traumatized. I think he just got a bit of mostly what Ken can do." This is where, well, Lloyd nodded and said, "Other than that, I'm going back. I'm going back to my, what's it called, apartment to kind of take a fucking nap or something." He says, "You do that, Lloyd." This is where, well, mostly Neon says, I want to train now." This is where, well, Issei says, "There is some things that you can train upon. I keep forgetting to tell you about this, but this is where Issei kind of just tells her the basics about how to control a nimbus and might work and other things. And this is where, well, Neon right now exclaims in happiness and right now bows down towards Issei and says, "Thank you, my lord," and walks away. Issei scratches up and says, "Why does a lot of people call me lord?" Esther says, "Why not?" This is where, well, she kind of puts her hand around mostly Issei's chin, lifts him up and says, "Besides, it's kind of cute to see you being called lord. A lot. And I like it." She smiles. This is where, well, Issei says, "Yeah, I like it too." This is where, well, mostly two people says, "No fair! San, why the fuck are you trying to right now make a move on, well, Issei-kun?" This is where, well, they both look and turn around to see mostly Candace and also Junko. They're both glaring at mostly Estef and Issei. And Issei searches and says, "Here it goes again. A crazy event." But yeah, but of course with those three kind of fighting, this is where someone actually appears next to his like window and sees a black cat. He decides to kind of walk up to the window, opens it, and the black cat actually transforms into a beautiful naked female with dark kind of chocolatey skin and purplish hair with kind of goldenish slick eyes. She smiles and says, "Hey guys." This is where, well, Estef, Junko, and even what's it called, mostly Candace says, "Sensei." This is where they put their eyes all together and kind of squint them. And of course, where, well, Estef noticed that Issei isn't looking away, which mostly Estef puts mostly her hands over mostly Issei and says, "Stop looking." Issei says, but I'm no longer a little kid. I want to just see Sensei's interesting." "Shut up." This is where Issei says, "Fine, fine, fine." This is where, well, we'll see Sensei, who's actually none other than Yoriichi, kind of just giggles at mostly their kind of reaction. Yoriichi then put on clothes and says, "So, is this better?" They notice Yoriichi's clothing and it's not really much any time better. So this is what she's actually wearing. It's kind of very skimpy and other things are skimpy. No, not skimpy. Skimpy. Well, mostly the girls tell her to actually put on actually decent clothes because when Issei opened his eyes and actually removed Esther's eye, or mostly hand, he decides to kind of just says, "You look great, Yoriichi." Yoriichi kind of says, "Thanks." This is where, well, they kind of mostly Esther put her hand again and says, Issei, "No." He says, "Oh, fine." This is where, well, mostly Yoriichi giggles but decides to actually put on decent clothes that looks like this. So pretty much she just looks like this. This is where, well, an orange shirt and other things, but yeah. This is where, well, we'll see. She says, "Done." This is where, well, Issei says, I think I like the other thing, but this is where Esther says, "Issei." Issei says, "Fine, fine, fine. So what are you here for, Yoriichi-san?" Yoriichi says, "I'm here because, well, I'm talking about mostly there might be a threat in the near future from, well, a cadre fallen angel wanting to start a war with mostly the, well, angels, devils, and fallen angels." "And how do you know about this?" "I kind of overheard it after a while before coming back over here." He says, "I see. Well, is there any other news?" Or, "Yes, the devils mostly Sursex himself is actually wanting to talk to you about you saving his sister from the Riser arranged marriage. He says, hell no, I'm not dealing with that. No, don't give a damn. That bitch can go suffer. This is where Yoriichi pleads with Issei, thinking that this might be good, but she knows that mostly the incident what happened last time. So yeah, this is where, well, she knows that mostly Sursex is also a terrible person because of what she heard from Koneko. And yes, Yoriichi in this one is a Nekomaru, so not the point. But yeah, this is where, well, she nodded and says, I know what exactly he has done and other things, but it would be a good idea. Maybe instead of saving the Gremory, you can save the Sifri. Because I heard that mostly the Sifri is also going through an arranged marriage. Maybe you should, he says, I'd rather save her. I'd rather make her fall in love with me when I saved her instead of helping Reyes. Because yes, Issei can see the future and he can see which future he'd rather kind of do. He can only see it. He cannot change or desire or whatever he wants to do. He can only see it. And he already made plans for Sona and other things. Maybe saving Sona and Seraph can actually help him and with the resources. But he's not helping Reyes at all. He does not care one bit. That bitch can suffer for all he cares about. Like, why the fuck would he want to save her? At all. No. He can probably use her as a manipulation game, but she's going to be more annoying and nuisance and try to put him in her barrage, which he's not trying to. Like, this bitch can go fuck off, burn in 9 rooms of hell, and he can care less. But yeah. But other than that, this is where, well, we'll see Yoriichi nodded and says, I see. This is where, well, we'll see, she then smiles and says, well, whatever your desire so much for, what's it called, with the double heiresses, you can do whatever. Well, then I'm just telling you the news. Sursex might come here later just to kind of bargain with you. If he does, then he's getting a fucking bullet to the head. Issei said with such a cold, very cold, literally ice, negative, like degrees, like 100 negative degrees coldness, making mostly all the girls kind of shiver, even Yoriichi. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, I am not helping that fucking red-haired bastard. I'm not even planning to help her sister. That man can literally come here and waste his goddamn time and pleading with me because I ain't saving shit. This is where, well, we'll see Yoriichi nod and says, I see. Well, then I'm gonna go to my classroom just to see if my students are still there. They probably left or something. Yeah, you can go deal with that. Also, don't worry about the Princess of Witches with a guy there. Her name is Chloe, and I think she's been the substitute for her classroom. She's been dealing with like the other girls, since you do like a activities kind of class or whatever. Not a core class, but yeah, you get the point. Here's where Yoriichi says, that's good to know. So who's the other guy? The other guy's named Adonis. He's been a pain in the ass for a while. Well, then that man can actually piss off because that man's fucking traumatized from the fact from Ken. Ken came back and says, you son of a bitch. You fucking did that on purpose, spinning me all the way in Mach fucking 5 straight to a window and launching my ass. This is where almost he can notice Yoriichi, Estef, Junko, and even what's it called, Candace, and says, you have a meeting, great, I don't care. He says, I'll do it again. I'll strap you to the chair and launch your bitch ass out the fucking window this time. Well, not this time, another time. This is where Ken says, screw you, man. Whatever. He starts about to walk away until this is where a girl with mostly whitish hair and a girl with blondish hair actually appear. And Adonis also appeared. Adonis kind of sees Ken and starts running away. No, get me away from him. This is where the Princess of Witches and also Chloe kind of looks towards Ken, and Ken says, What the fuck are you looking at? He's right now pushing his hair back, and this is where he looks so pissed and angry. He looks at Adonis and says, oh, that motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking make sure she stays dead. This is where he pulls out his card and right now makes a sign and says, come here, you son of a bitch, I'm about to kill you. This is where, well, Adonis says, no, get away from me. No, I don't want to deal with you again. This is where, well, it's just an amusing event that Issei sees. Just seeing Adonis right now suffer while Ken is right now chasing after him. While the two kind of females right now rush in trying to save Adonis from mostly Ken. Because Ken is going to hurt Adonis again. Because this time he's already pissed. Literally Ken can give 2 fucks less about killing Adonis. But yeah. But for right now, I'm going to leave it off here for mostly part 7 of this what if. Other than that, bye soon. Yeah, but yeah, I'll be going.